Why I regret moving into a nursing home, the truth no one tells you. At 82, I've learned a lot about life. But if there's one decision I wish I had reconsidered, it's moving into a nursing home. At the time, it seemed like the right choice. My family reassured me that I'd be well cared for, comfortable, and surrounded by people who would support me. I believed them. But once I arrived, I quickly realized that the reality was far different from what I had imagined. If you or a loved one is considering this option, I urge you to take a moment and reflect. It may seem like the safest or most convenient path, but there are things I wish someone had told me before I took this step. Today, I want to share the harsh truths I've come to understand, truths that might make you think twice before making such a life-changing decision. 1. Losing independence, more than just a small sacrifice. The biggest shock wasn't the size of the room or the strict meal schedules, it was the realization that I had lost control over my own life. Before moving in, I had my routines. I could decide when to wake up, what to eat, and how to spend my day. I could step outside for a walk whenever I wanted or cook a meal just the way I liked it. But in a nursing home, everything runs on someone else's schedule. Breakfast is served at a fixed time, whether you're hungry or not. Lights go out at a designated hour, even if you're not ready to sleep. Want to take a stroll outside? You may need permission and an available staff member to assist you. Even choices as simple as what to wear start feeling like privileges rather than personal decisions. I remember waking up one morning and reaching for my favorite book, only to realize that many of the small comforts I had cherished in my home were gone. In their place were sterile walls and a bed that wasn't really mine. The hardest part? Realizing that once you surrender your independence, getting it back is almost impossible. 2. The pain of feeling forgotten. When I first moved in, my family visited often. My daughter stopped by weekly, and my grandchildren would visit on weekends. But as time passed, those visits became less frequent. Calls replaced visits, and soon, even those became sporadic. Holidays were the toughest. Plans were made, promises were given, but somehow, at the last minute, something always changed. I would sit in the common room and watch other residents gaze at the door, hoping today would be the day someone remembered them. It's not that our families stop loving us, life simply moves on, and when you're out of sight, you slowly become out of mind. The loneliness in a nursing home is something no one warns you about. If you're considering this path, ask yourself, are you ready for the possibility that, no matter how much your family cares, you may spend more days alone than you ever expected? 3. Losing purpose, a slow fade into nothingness. At home, I had responsibilities, no matter how small, watering my plants, making my morning coffee, tidying up my space. These simple tasks gave my day meaning. But in the nursing home, all of that was gone. Meals were provided, laundry was done for me, and there was little left for me to do. At first, I thought it would be nice to relax. No chores, no worries. But after a few weeks, I began to feel empty. The days felt longer. Time stretched endlessly, with little to break the monotony. I saw the same thing happen to others, once vibrant individuals, now spending their days sitting, staring, waiting for time to pass. Purpose isn't just about keeping busy. It's about having something to look forward to, something that makes you feel alive. When that disappears, so does a piece of who you are. 4. Declining health, faster than expected. Before moving in, I was doing well for my age. I could cook, go for walks, and take care of myself. But in the nursing home, everything was designed to make life easier. Meals were brought to me, assistance was always available, and little by little, I moved less and less. At first, I didn't notice the change. Then one day, getting out of bed felt harder. My legs felt weaker. Simple tasks that had once been effortless became challenges. I watched the same happen to others. People who walked in on their own 2 feet eventually needed walkers, then wheelchairs. The less we do for ourselves, the more we lose. If I had known how quickly I would decline, would have fought harder to stay active, to keep moving, to hold on to my strength. Because once you stop using your body, you start losing it. 5. Loss of privacy and dignity. One thing I never fully considered before moving in was how much privacy I would lose. At home, I had my own space, my own routines. In the nursing home, privacy is a luxury. Staff members come in and out. Room checks are scheduled, but sometimes they happen unannounced. Even using the bathroom or taking a shower often requires assistance. I know they're just doing their jobs, but needing help with things I once did independently felt like a loss of dignity. For many residents, personal space is shared. If you're lucky, you get a kind roommate. If not, you may find yourself in a difficult situation, one you have little control over. The reality is, no matter how much you try to make your room feel like home, it will never truly be yours. 6. Leaving isn't as easy as you think. When I first moved in, I told myself it was temporary. I thought if I didn't like it, I could leave. But what I didn't realize was just how hard it would be to go back. My house sat empty, and maintaining it from a distance became impossible. My children started making decisions, selling things, making changes, assuming I wouldn't need them anymore. When I finally brought up the idea of returning home, they hesitated. Are you sure you can manage on your own? Wouldn't it be safer to stay? And after months of less activity, I wasn't as strong as I once was. The independence I had taken for granted was slipping away, making the idea of leaving feel daunting. For many, what starts as a temporary decision becomes permanent before they even realize it. Final thoughts, what I wish I had done instead. Looking back, I don't regret aging. But I do regret believing that a nursing home was my only option. I walked in expecting comfort, security, and an easier life. Instead, I found a place that slowly took away my independence, my privacy, and my sense of self. Does this mean nursing homes are all bad? Not necessarily. Some people genuinely need the level of care they provide. But before you make this choice, think carefully about what you're giving up, because once you move in, life will never be the same. If I could do it over, I would have explored more ways to get help at home. I would have fought harder to stay in my own space for as long as possible. And most importantly, I would have made sure I truly needed to be in a nursing home before making such a life-changing move. If you or someone you love is considering this decision, ask yourself, is this truly the best choice, or just the most convenient one? Because the life you have now, your independence, your choices, is worth holding on to for as long as you can.